Hello everyone, welcome back to Apollo Art Analysis. Today we're going to be looking at a piece from a Spanish artist that gets a bunch of different lessons. We're going to focus on contrast. We're also going to focus on kind of archaic or tribal geometry. We're going to focus on some ancient motifs. We're also going to focus on crystals and how that can be a source of enlightenment, or a symbol of enlightenment rather. So let's jump right into it. So whenever I first saw this piece, I actually only saw this left panel, but upon a bit deeper inspection, it is actually a full, much wider piece that can't be shared quite easily all in one panel. So I got the other half here and I put it into the piece here. Of course, it doesn't perfectly line up. We're going to roll with it and see what we can learn here today. So obviously in our initial introduction, I met with this red contrast that really sticks out to me. Red, of course, by nature of just its color itself, it is the most attentive color. If you have red in a spatial composition, it will poke out to you more than the other colors as well. So I think the artist is working deliberately with that, and the artist definitely knows how contrasting and how attentive red it is as well. So that really pulls us in and captures our attention instantly. That is, of course, achieved with I would say, a dark on light contrast. It's hard to say whenever you have those types of colors, but the contrast is really what pops out here. So obviously we see various profiles. We have a perfect side profile on either side here, and we also have a much more confrontational one, but still at an angle. It's not looking directly at us, but rather kind of past us, right? Past us, outward. So we are standing in the middle, and none of these faces are looking directly at us. They are simply looking kind of past or behind us. But the sense that I get from this is they're all emerging from this center source here. Of course, in the center, we have this kind of emerald-like crystal, and then we have two green circles here as well. So those really pop out, and those, I think, are a good source of enlightenment. We're going to go into that a little bit deeper here in a second. But it feels like they're all emerging kind of like a bloom, right? They're all blooming outward, and it displays that energy, which is just emerging from the center and going outward. So I think that's incredibly important to note whenever we're looking at this piece in specificity. All right, so next we're going to talk about it feels like of course, they are traveling away from the center spatial composition. We went on that a bit. We also have this crop motif. Now, I believe it is maize or corn. That's actually, I'm not 100% on that, but I do believe that's what it is. So we have these kind of 2D corn-like, or at least natural motifs there, and those are connected to this sense of tribalism and the sense of Native America in general. So it kind of started in Central America and really moved outward from there as it spread more and more. I believe about 8,000 years ago is around the time that it began in Central America, whenever they started cultivating maize. Could be even earlier than that. I'm not 100% on that. So we see a pretty good example of kind of archaic geometry. And geometry is really, really sacred. Of course, sacred geometry. But even the early Greeks, they started with the vases of geometric. Now, this piece is from the Native Americas. That's incredibly important to note. So it's from a Native American tribe. Not sure exactly which one. I couldn't find any more info on that. But the artist I have seen this same kind of corn-like motif show up in a Brazilian piece or an Amazon piece that the artist had created in the past as well. So I think it is connected in that some way. Maybe we can say South America, but it's really hard to note directly exactly what tribe this is. But it is I believe it is Tribo. So Tribo. So that's how it's spelled. That is the title of the piece. And of course, from that, we can, of course, theorize on the fact that it is a tribe as well. So I want to call everyone's attention to these green crystals. We have a green crystal there. We have another one up there. We have another one right there as well. So crystals in and of itself have always been a kind of divine representation, because the way it takes light and refracts it and is like a vehicle or a vessel of light. So of course it could be a vessel of enlightenment. And I see that it is above the forehead, near the third eye of the individuals there as well. So I think that's really important to note. It could be directly connected to it, or it could just be kind of a guiding source or a guiding ideal that grants them forward and continues their path. So this green really, really calls my attention because it could be consciousness, which is, of course, life itself. It could be enlightenment. It could be a higher state of being. It could be just a very sacred crystal to the tribe. It's hard to exactly say what it is, or it could be a conglomeration of all of those things all together. And I think that that's really important to note. This green crystal really just pops out. Quick note, this back is pretty neutral backing, but we do kind of have these particle-like texturing effects and this kind of gritty texture as well. So that of course also allows the center subjects to emphasize themselves even more, because they provide a much more smooth texture onto this gritty backing. So that's really cool. There's a lot of dynamic motion with here. Of course, curves are always dynamic, and they imply motion in art, always. So we see that, say, like the leaf is above one, and this one is above that one, and this one is above that one, and there's many different layers to this piece. So that, of course, gives the work a lot of visual energy, and it draws us in incredibly. So not only is there visual energy in the curves, there's also visual energy in the layers, and then there's also visual energy in just the color red itself as well. And of course, the crystals are giving off a lot of energy as well. So that's all really important to note. As I said before, the artist is a Spanish artist, and it seems like he does a lot of work on both southern North America as well as Central America and South America. So check out some more of his other pieces. He does some really, really nice work. I'm really intrigued by his work, and I think I may be showcasing some more of his in the close future. Really, really hope you guys enjoy this piece. It's going to be hard for me to upload the 2-panel piece, but we're going to work with it and see how it lines up. It probably won't be perfect, as you can see here, but we work with it. I really wanted to share this piece with you guys, and go check out the artist, see some more of his works, and see some more of these motifs and these sources of enlightenment that you're seeing. And he has a really unique way of representing the human form, specifically the face. A very kind of flat, but very definitive and emphasized form, a very stylistic form as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned some lessons, and I'll see you guys on the next Apollo Art Analysis. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like to support our work directly, please check out our Apollo community tokens. Apollo Art Exchange is an ecosystem of art appreciation which elevates artists each and every day. Thanks for listening.